Everybody, Andy here again. This is one of those videos I've been thinking about making for quite some time, and it may not actually end up being the video that I was going to make, if you see what I mean, because I've thought about making a video about music and how music's affected me through my life. It's one of those things that I've talked about a lot in videos, and anyone who's watched my videos, especially regularly and in the past, over the past year or 3 years actually, getting on 4 now, will realise that music is a big influence on me. It's a big part of my life, and it's something it's there and has been a constant, I suppose, and something that I will always be with me, I think. But I've just been thinking about this recently because I just literally watched a film on the BBC iPlayer, as it happened, something that was on the BBC, but it's a feature film, I think, made by NASA called For All Mankind, and it was made as a sort of commemoration of all the Apollo lunar landings. And one of the things about it, it's a great film. If you ever get the chance to see it, watch the film. One of the things about it is it's got a great soundtrack by Brian Eno, who used to be who makes a lot of that sort of atmospheric type music, and has done in the past with Roxy Music, etc. I knew some of the music before, although it was specially written for this particular film, and some of it's just very evocative, and it just fits perfectly. So there was that side to it as well. But also, I heard something on the radio this morning, and it was borne out by what I've just seen on that particular film as well, about how the astronauts, the Apollo astronauts, when they went to the moon, they took music with them. It was in the form of cassette tapes, like in an old Walkman type of thing, I suppose, a forerunner of the Walkman, obviously, in sort of 1969 to 1972 or 3, whenever the moon landing stopped. They were allowed to take cassette tapes with them, and they could put music on so they could listen to it while they were doing tasks or whatever during their sort of trip to and from the moon. And some of them had classical music, and the Alto Sprach Zarathustra, I think is how you pronounce it. The theme music to 2001 was an obvious choice. Other people had other classical music. Someone was playing country and western music, which appeared to be especially recorded for the astronauts themselves, and someone else was playing some Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon. A great choice. But it was that thing that they go somewhere like that and they take music with them. It's something that they needed to take with them. And even when they were on the moon, they showed some clips of the guys at one of the moonwalks, not Armstrong and Aldrin, but one of the later ones, where they were on the lunar rover, and they were sort of dancing around, and they were singing to themselves, and they were singing, and I was walking on the moon one day in the merry, merry month of May, that old sort of song, and they were humming to themselves. And it's one of those things that just sort of struck me, because I wasn't thinking about talking about this particular angle, but it just shows you how sort of prevalent music is in our lives. You might be different to me, but I just think generally it's one of those things that's there. We carry music in our heads, whether it be music that we've heard before, that we what it's like. You hear something on the radio, or hear a song at the, in a shop or something like that, or that somebody else is playing on somebody else's iPod on the train or on the bus or whatever, and you get that song in your head, and it's there. But we think of songs, we think of situations that we're in, and songs come to mind. We make up songs like the Moonwalkers there were humming to themselves. People whistle to themselves. They're making songs all the time in their head. I'd like to know if this is a universal thing. I think it is, because music is one of those things that goes, I don't know the origins, but we all know, we've seen all the sort of people from ethnic backgrounds, tribes, communities that outside of the Western world, let's put it like Aboriginal cultures, African cultures, etc., Pacific Islanders or whatever it might be. There's music there. There's music that's come up. It's in their genes. It's something that they've done without the modern tape that we've got on it with the amplified sort of music. They've taken it back to basics, and I wonder where it all comes from. I mean, it had that sort of rhythm. There's that thing about the heart being on rhythm, so that's a natural rhythm that goes boom, boom, boom in your heart all the time. So whether that's where it comes from, we just need that difference, and music sort of raises the pulse, doesn't it? It gets the brain working, gets those endorphins going and the adrenaline going or something like that, and it has a profound effect on us. Other things have effects on us, obviously. I was thinking about sort of books and reading and films and that type of thing. I think they have an effect, but music's something, as I said, that you can carry in your head. As I said, it's something that's probably all around. I mean, I can literally read. I've got CDs here, and I've got another CD that's just sitting there. And if I go over here, I've got just sitting. Is my iPod that I was listening to today. I'm actually reading a book all about music and that as well. So that shows that side of it. But that was just a thought. Something that I watched that particular one. I can do the other video at another time. I can see that coming. But just how even when people go away from the earth, they have to take music with them. Maybe that was the easiest thing to take, that they couldn't take, their favourite book or a movie or something like that. That was something that was more portable, something that was easier to take, and maybe something that was easy to take for a group of people. And music is one of those things. If there's anybody out there who just doesn't like music for whatever reason and just can't get into it, doesn't listen to it, a lot of people treat music in different ways. I'm very passionate about music, and I couldn't imagine sort of life without music. My wife, for example, as much as she likes music, it doesn't bother her. She doesn't listen to the radio, and new music doesn't bother. She enjoys music, but I don't know of anyone who doesn't like it. So that's an interesting point. The one that I'm just thought of is if one who just doesn't like music, and I don't care what type of music it is, because as far as I'm concerned, music's music, whether it be rap music, hip hop music, classical music, jazz, blues, folk, rock, or whatever. I don't care. That's all music. Or even if it's sort of an ethnic style world music or something, it's still all music. It's music to somebody. It's some music that people have created, and it all comes. There's that big melting pot sort of side of it. Another aspect altogether. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. As I said, what your feelings are about music generally, and how you think it originated, and the old sort of pumping heart type of thing. But I just want to put that out there very quickly. I just give my thoughts. There's something that just struck me about how we need to take it with us, and even when we're on the moon, we make music, or we listen to music, or we're singing music. So it can't be escaped, whether we want to or not. It's just there. It's one of those things, and I'm not sure of anything else that's like that. I could be wrong. That's what I'm asking the question. You can put me right, and I don't mind. But so that's my feeling. That's the one thing that's universal. One thing that is the same for everybody. I think that music is its own special language. As I said, there's different types of music, but it's a common language. It's a universal language. I wouldn't be surprised if we did meet sort of extraterrestrials or something at times, that music will be one of the things that we find that we have in common. And on that theory, on that sort of thought, I know that they sent off the I think it was the Voyager spacecraft from years ago, back in the 70s or 80s, I believe it was, and they sent off a disc, like a CD type disc, with lots of different ideas on there, sort of mathematical equations and drawings and things, and they actually put some music on it, I think, and it was classical music at the time. I think that was all put together by Carl Sagan, and so there was music tied up with that as well in one of the Voyagers, or one of those sort of probes that was just sent out through the solar system. I think it's now exited the solar system, is now just going and going and going. If and when someone ever finds that, it'd be interesting to know what they think about it. Really, I won't be alive, you probably won't be alive then either, if they ever do get back to us. But it'd be interesting to see, if they come on with the music, they might not understand some of the other things on there, but the music they could probably relate to. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.